Alright guys, welcome back to Gilded Gaming and more NieR Replicant. It is the weekend, it is Friday, we are going to have some fun tonight. Resident Evil 8 Village is out today. We're going to wait till 8 o'clock to play it though, so Deshire can join us. Until then, let's get in some more NieR. We're getting close to the end of part 1. I've been saying that forever. But we've actually, I think, completed all the quests before then. We just need to do like the last 2 areas of part 1. Which, starting with the Forest of Myth, which is kind of a text adventure thing, so this ought to be fun.
Beware.
Beware.
Beware the words.
The words? What do you mean?
Contagious words. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind.
Weiss's voice rose in a quizzical way.
It is not quizzical.
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his eyes.
Perhaps we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
It's some extra lines there. The mayor stared at gildedJ and Weiss.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream had spread across the Forest of Myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor had determined the Death Dream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Weiss stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here.
He said.
Are you saying that we have been absorbed into your
I love how the box is just getting bigger and bigger.
Well, yes.
Said the mayor.
I think you have.
In other
Then
words,
gildedJ.
we've caught the death dream?
Before the mayor could confirm gildedJ's suspicion, Weiss exploded with rage.
Ridiculous. Preposterous. Completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the death dream works.
Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remarks.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject of who gildedJ had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my
Said
dream.
the mayor.
A certain conversation, a specific word.
Oh, the background picture cut out now. gildedJ and Weiss racked their brain, but they could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider, too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Weiss does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Weiss chose his words carelessly seems to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Weiss looked skyward, as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over into gildedJ like a contagion. Wait, said gildedJ suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? It's in the entire screen now. Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Weiss aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Asked the mayor. Some specific combination of words? What was it? It was about dreaming, or something that dreams, or... Oh, what the hell was it? A sheep! Cried Weiss suddenly, blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, gildedJ's face suddenly lit up. I remember, he said. Those who dream. That's what he said, I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times, then before finally nodding his approval at gildedJ. That sounds right, he said. As a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground, my notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head, his worn pencil stub tracing lines across the lone piece of paper. For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the death dream, he said. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along, but I've never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Weiss immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research the disease in your dreams, he said, but perhaps we should bend your efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream, I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens. gildedJ nodded in agreement. Oh, wait a second. I didn't nod. Look, if we can be of any help, said gildedJ, just ask. Now hold on, I did not just say that. Silence, cried Weiss. Grimoire looked from gildedJ to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Weiss's face is always confident, thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor, you told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet you seem surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? The mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god, he said, you're right! I had no idea you were coming. Human imagination is a limitless engine, said Weiss, and dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he called it before at the departing forms of gildedJ and Weiss. We're all counting on you. As gildedJ slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought, but where? gildedJ's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction. The moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Weiss was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical effort, he spent most of his time urging gildedJ to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Weiss muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, gildedJ snapped. Okay, Weiss, cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk. gildedJ leaned against a tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so big, he muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out at a volume that rattled his teeth. gildedJ slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard, Weiss, what's going on? gildedJ could see Weiss's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting into a tornado. The insects screamed, the forest howled. And then, just as gildedJ's ears seemed ready to tear out from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. Three, 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 three. Shuck. Shuck. I don't call all kinds of names, sounds. Ma. Okay. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, gildedJ began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise, it's something else. The insects weren't just calling out, they were asking a question. One with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? By my pages, is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. Then I leave it to you to answer. 1 with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? The answer is a secret. The answer is a seesaw. How should I know? I mean, Seesaw. Something that's ideal with 2 people, but dangerous with 3. Oh, it's a seesaw. Vice's mouth flew open, but before he could say anything, the world suddenly shifted. When gildedJ came to, he was once again surrounded by the sound of insects. The cries of the insects were creating words he had heard somewhere before. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? Okay, so we have to say a secret, I guess. Inwardly furious that Vice left the task to him, gildedJ sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret. Right? The sound of the insects stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before gildedJ like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Vice with glee. Pleased at passing the test, gildedJ moved on with new intensity. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense though, because you can have a secret and just not tell anybody. You know? So, and if you tell somebody, they could give away the secret. I don't see how that's ideal. I don't know. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said gildedJ after a bit. Vice spun around to face his companion. You don't mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Vice finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest. Spring. A clear forest spring. Smiling, gildedJ picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Vice. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Absurdly easy, barked Vice. Now answer it. gildedJ gritted his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right, after all. This one is pretty easy. I enter through the window, but break no glass, and when night falls, I vanish. What am I? Sunlight. A plume of water suddenly burst from the string. Sunlight flittered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Vice softly, I've never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey look, cried gildedJ, awaking Vice from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Vice saw a cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Vice? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? gildedJ walked over and pounded on the door, and after a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began gildedJ, but before he could get any further, the cloaked man held up a hand and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, but in the night with 3. What am I? gildedJ tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing here, but he simply repeated the question. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, said Vice, it seems we must answer his riddle. Yeah, I suppose, said gildedJ. Well, at least it's an easy one. I have 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and 3 at the end, but in the night with 3. What am I? A man. The mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor, cried gildedJ. The small man slowly shook his head. I'm not the mayor, you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry? What's that mean? It will make sense in time. It will, yeah. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the death dream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on his heel, slammed the door behind him. As gildedJ watched, mist seeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When gildedJ and Vice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against the tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. Good gravy, he cried, you made it! You actually made it back! His left hand grasped gildedJ's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge the socket, while the right seized Vice by the cover and swung him through the air. God, by the heavens, stop shaking me, fool! We have not even told you if we were successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. gildedJ withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the death dream seal, he said. At least I think we did. The mayor's face beamed as gildedJ filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the 3 of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. gildedJ cocked his head. Wait, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. gildedJ and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten, continued Vice? It is the words that control the death dream, words that allow us to move from one place to another. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breaths slowing. This is the first time, began the mayor, the first time I have felt tired since I was imprisoned here. His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear they had awakened from their dream. gildedJ shook the mayor's shoulders gently. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Oh, wow, said the mayor in an odd voice. We did. I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. The death dream was spreading through the village, and I wanted to... Well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, but then collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked. He glanced at gildedJ and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor with a wry smile across his lips. You shall relearn in short order, I'm sure, said Vice. For now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on his unsteady feet. No, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the death dream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, he explained when the prayer was finished. It's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Vice. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is the home to powerful magic known as a sealed verse. gildedJ and Vice could not contain their surprise. It seemed a goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. Hey, Deathly Placebo, how's it going? 3 months. It's going great, Deathly. Deathshire is going to be on later. At 8 o'clock, we're starting Resident Evil, The Village, Resident Evil 8. It's been a lot of fun. Right now, we're having text adventure time in NieR. Alright. I say, muttered Vice, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, gildedJ mentioned the strange man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left with them. I once saw a version of you that's not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world did that mean? Talking about the Shadow Lord. Lost in thought, he stared out into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, is this going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. gildedJ tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the death dream. It probably doesn't mean anything. gildedJ gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. What exactly is going on here? That riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much. Now I can finally return to a normal
Alright, we saved the mayor, but there's still more people to save.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
If that's an option, Deathly, we will get stepped on, yeah. We attained a sealed verse. Dark Execution. Summon magical spikes from the ground to impale enemies. Charged to increase the number of spikes. Cool beans.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink it, Vice.
Come over here.
This person must be dreaming too.
How's things been? You haven't been able to make a stream for a while? They've been good. We've been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto. We did 100% for Vice City. We're starting San Andreas now. I played a little bit of Returnal. It's been fun. You gotta get some more time for it. But I'm trying to keep NieR going. Next week, we're 1 week away now. 7 days until Mass Effect comes out, and then I've taken a week off of work. We're going to be streaming a lot that week.
It would appear that way.
Mass Effect all day, all the time.
Can't say I'm very excited to go back there. That dream world sorta creeps me out.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
Yeah.
Here we go. Into another dream. I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked beneath a stairway in a long unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes. An eternity slips by in a single tick of the clock. The main character looks like one of the elf twins from like Alize and Alphino. A little bit. I mean, that's only in Replicant. In the other version, Gestalt, which is almost the exact same game, only the main character is different, which is the original version we got in America. On the PS3, it was just called NieR. It was the Gestalt version, which you play Yuna's father instead of her brother. That's the only difference. It's weird. They made two versions of the game, one where you played an older guy and one where you play a younger guy. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My savior. I claw at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is the product of my addled mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all the gods, help me. Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly cracks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy in a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to blackness, explode with pain, and I'm forced to turn away. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands, covering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimoire Weiss. This is gildedJ. Long have we been searching for you. Now, come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together. The one known as gildedJ extends his hand and pulls me up from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were not such a terrible storm, said Grimoire Weiss. Now look at your feet. I force my eyes open and see water pooling around my ankles and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we do not make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like an endless entrails of a giant. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door in the next room, I come across a shapeless mass of gray matter that has been shoved against the side of the wall. Despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch the piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns, and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from it to the beds and back again until the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know. The sanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter, I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving that most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridor and proceed east. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. At the end of the path, the waters rise to my waist, exhausting me both physically and spiritually. I pray that this is the way out. Eventually I can stand the sight of the waters no longer, so I turn my eyes upward. Imagine my surprise when I see a series of paintings hanging from the faded plaster wall. Each depicts a person in the prime of his life, clad in clothing of the highest quality. The styles, however, are strange to me, leading me to believe that these are people that had lived long, long ago. One subject wears an outfit that particularly catches my eye. It's constructed of a thin, breezy cloth and decorated with the motif of flowers and birds, while encircling the figure's waist is a leather belt of the most perfect construction. It's a stunning costume, even by modern standards. As I gaze at the portrait, I am struck by a desire to touch it with my own hands, yet as I extend a single finger to the painting, I am gripped by a most unpleasant feeling. Staring closely at the image, I see it bend and warp into the shape of another finger. Something behind the painting is pointing at me. Is it another prisoner? A fellow inmate trapped for eternity in this place? I cannot let it pass, and so I seize the portrait with both hands and throw it into the water. The wall is hollow behind the painting, and inside I can just make out a body. Whether or not this is a prisoner, there'd be no rescue. The poor soul is long dead. Scraps of clothing lie on the floor around the bones. Only a small amount of fabric has survived, but it features the same delicate designs that were depicted in the portrait. I have been admiring a row of corpses, blocked from view by portraits of each victim at their pinnacle. Enough. Shielding my eyes, I paddle forward through the water. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed south. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed east. At the end of the path, I find myself in a great hall with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver in the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing a movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects had made their homes in the remains, and this is the movement I saw. This once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands and then slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of this abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake. The chairs prove to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in this layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and down the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. Or if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasps frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was the punishment, though in truth I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. I squint down the dim corridor and proceed north. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. "Break it down," someone cries, and so I give myself the effort. In tandem with gildedJ and Grimoire Vice, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry as tears of joy is running down on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. "Your dress?" asks Vice. "And you are a woman, madam." "I am." I proffer with the two with a smile. I suppose that comes as something of a surprise, seeing how I exist only in the form of words. I can see that the one known as gildedJ is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As you watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I hear that.
Thank you so much for saving me. I never want to have a dream like that again.
Okay. Another person here?
And another victim. This work certainly is trying.
I figured a book like you would be into all this word stuff, Vice.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be all...
A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance. their tall forms scraping against the sky. Vice and gildedJ had never seen such a sight. Their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away. What do you think, Vice?
As Vice considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage.
Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. gildedJ nodded and wiped the sweat from his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. Thought he'd never been so thirsty. The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made gildedJ lightheaded. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us, or what? The complaining had already begun. Vice tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke, he said? No, no joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't sound very sure of yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of it this way might make it easier for you to bear. gildedJ glanced at Vice's grinning face, shook his head, and resumed walking. As time passed, gildedJ's feet grew more painful, his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. "We're definitely getting closer," said Vice in an effort to cheer his companion. "Yes, this much is certain." Encouraged, gildedJ lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open, his finger pointing in the distance. "Water!" he cried. "It's water!" "Water?" asked Vice. "Preposterous, I don't see any water." "Over there, just ahead of us. Look, the sun is reflecting off of it." Without waiting for a response, gildedJ sprang to life and bounded towards the sight. What in the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. gildedJ closed his eyes and sighed as Vice floated up behind him and chuckled softly. "I believe this is known as a mirage," he said. "Many desert travelers have spoken of such things." gildedJ shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. "Wait, there it is! I just missed it. Look, it's right there!" gildedJ sprinted off again, leaving Vice no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, gildedJ came to a halt. He could have sworn it was right around here. Confused, he put his hand up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue, shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour until an exasperated Vice finally floated up to gildedJ and struck him in the face with his cover. "Enough, you blistering idiot! Stop this at once! There is no water here." gildedJ's face clouded. "There isn't?" "There's not. And perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much." Vice paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. "However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the city of art." gildedJ looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. "They're huge!" cried gildedJ, completely forgetting the heat and the pain of the last few hours. "I've never seen anything so big." Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky, but that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spikes on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. "What kind of city is this?" said gildedJ. "Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use." The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Iron crates with wheels that set silent on steel rails. Beautifully carved works and lights of red, amber, and green dangling in every street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never seen or encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose to find the abstract works around them, gildedJ and Vice eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shapes of humans. gildedJ uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of this modern art. The 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled on the right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. As gildedJ moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of the sculptures, Alighting on the statue's shoulder, it emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. With that, the bird departed, and as if on cue, 3 statues shuddered to life. Acquiring color and form, they began to breathe. Hey, look at that, said gildedJ. They're alive. The triplets bowed low before gildedJ. Please, said Alpha. You have to get me out of this nightmare. I'm real. Stop lying, said Beta. He turned to gildedJ and threw his hands in the air. Alpha's a fake, you know. I'm the real one. What a load of crap, said Gamma. Beta's a fake. Everyone knows I'm the real one around here. Their respective pleas given, the 3 statues returned to their frozen state of silence. The silence once more enveloped the city. When you consider all of the statements, only one of them could be the real thing, said Vice. gildedJ furrowed his brows and considered the answer. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. The real one is Alpha. The real one is Beta. The real one is Gamma. I don't have a clue. I don't remember what they said. The eyes of the statue shone with an eerie light. The light grew stronger and stronger until gildedJ and Vice are forced to turn away. I guess I was right. I seem to remember Alpha being a little weird, but I couldn't remember exactly what they said.
It would seem we failed.
Yeah.
We'd best act more
This is the worst
Is that
job
wrong?
ever.
And another
I figured a book like you would be.
Alright, we can skip all the text again if it's gonna be the same.
What do you...
Man, Force of Myth definitely gets all your reading out of the way. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real one always speaks the truth. The false one will only speak lies. With that, the bird departed, and as if on cue, the 3 statues shuddered to life, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. Hey, look at that, said gildedJ. They're alive. Triplets bowed low before gildedJ. Please, said Alpha. You have to get me out of this nightmare. I'm real. Stop lying, said Beta. He turned to gildedJ and threw his hands in the air. Alpha's a fake. You know I'm the real one. What a load of crap, said Gamma. Beta is fake. Everyone knows I'm the only real one around here. Alright, so if Gamma is telling the truth, then Beta is fake, Gamma is real. And if Beta is fake, then Alpha has to be real, because he said that Alpha's a fake and he has to lie. So that doesn't work. If Beta is real, he says Alpha's a fake and he's the real one, that's fine. Alpha just says that he's real, that would still be fine. And Gamma says that Beta is fake, which would be a lie. Yeah, so Beta is the real one. The real one is Beta. Though gildedJ's voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence, he was relieved to see Vice nodding at him. If Alpha were telling the truth, he began running in Weiss in dry lecture tones. Beta and Gamma would be fakes, but in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth, even though Gamma is a liar, and therefore that theory crumbles. Now let us presume that Gamma spoke the truth. That makes Alpha and Beta liars. In this situation, however, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with 2 statues telling the truth. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth, so Alpha and Gamma's lies would make sense, therefore Beta must be real. And as Vice finished the explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly in the dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. Congratulations, villager, said Vice in a cheerful tone. The time to awaken has arrived. Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as he could go before an uncomfortable gildedJ pulled him to his feet. Why did you have a dream like this? Asked Weiss. Have you been to this city before? The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape, then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have been to a place like this, but at the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, muttered gildedJ, just like the mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck gildedJ during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind.
That was rough.
I am positive I have seen that place before.
Okay, that's
I think that
enough.
was the last one.
Don't need you getting all weird on me too. Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right?
Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct. I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
You're telling me. Anyway, let's go see the mayor.
I thought I was a goner there. Thanks for the help. What a strange dream. It almost felt familiar somehow.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you so much. Here, I have something for you.
The one-handed sword Faith.
Wow, this looks valuable. I can really have it?
Of course. It's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you again for everything.
Okay.
I simply cannot...
Ah, hello again. You know, I've been trying to figure out a way to thank you for saving me, and I think I've got it. We're gonna put up a statue of you. It'll be 10 feet high, made of pure gold. Oh, and I know you don't own a horse. I think we'll put you on one anyway. Horses make people look more heroic, you know? How's that? You don't want a statue? Oh, I thought you'd really enjoy it. Regardless, thanks to your tireless efforts, our village is at peace once more, at peace. There's a little agriculture joke right there. Anyway, I've been thinking about the other things besides bad jokes and statues, and I've also decided that we need to start holding the village festival again. We used to have it every year, but the last mayor thought it was old-fashioned or something, and he killed it. But since I'm the mayor, I can start it up again. That's not abusing my power or anything, is it? What's that? You want to hear about the festival? Well, the official name is the Feast of the 3 Days. We call it that because everyone sits around a huge table and eats for 3 days straight. No sleeping allowed. Oh, and we hold it on the foggiest day of the year, so it's hard to tell what you're eating. Some of the dishes are delicious, but some are really rare, and, well, there's some weird stuff in them. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, you'll be pretty surprised at what you can eat if you haven't slept for a couple days. I'll make sure that a room is prepared for you so you can be the guest of... What? You can't come? You have to wash your hair? Alright, well, I guess that's understandable, what with the adventuring and all. Truthfully, I think this town needs more group bonding activities like that. It'll help us get to know each other and also promote unity at times of crisis and so forth. Weiss coughed loudly. How much longer must we bear the insufferable flapping of this fool's gums, he whispered to gildedJ. Let him talk, he just woke up. He probably has a lot that he wants to say. I sighed. This must be what Popolo meant by bright and talkative. Alright, let's check out this new weapon. It's weaker, but very light, huh? We could upgrade it. combos. Let's see what we can upgrade it. Yes, that's it for the forest. I do believe.
So how was the village?
Oh, it was truly magnificent. There are no words.
Really?
Neat.
Let's get back to Popola. She'll probably want to know what's going on in there.
Gonna kill more sheep? Give me an achievement for killing like 100 sheep. Infinite poor energy. I like riding the boar around. Doesn't have very good turning radius. Let's see what it takes to upgrade some of these weapons.
He doesn't talk about Mom as much these days.
Jacob,
Yeah?
can you read me a story?
In a bit, okay?
Alright, what we got?
How can I help you? Need some work done on your weapon?
So, silver and broken antennas. Next, it takes elaborate machines and natural rubber. We actually have enough silver already. Pretty cool. Buy the rubber. Elaborate machines, I think we have to wait to part 2 to get to. What do we need for Beast Bang? We need 2 more iron. That's it. Nice. Oof. These upgrades get quite nice.
Come back soon.
Right to the village, and then the only place left to go is the Haunted Manor. Yeah. I get to meet Emil. Emil. Silver. I wonder the best place to find iron is. Sheep. All sheep must die. There's an achievement in there. Let's see. Learn every type of magic. 100% of all the words. Found every weapon. 10 quality. We got that. Alright. Accumulate 1,000,000 gold pieces. Read all the novel segments. Some spoilers in here. Pretty big spoilers in here, actually. Maybe don't read the achievements if you haven't beaten the game yet. I think there was an achievement for killing sheep. 100 of them. Maybe not, though. Back to the village. I think there's an achievement for riding the boar around a lot too, but I don't know how long you have to do it. I don't want to look through all the achievements right now. Especially not, it seems to be a hidden one. So let's just not worry about it. We have enough time to finish part 1 maybe before Resident Evil, maybe.
The death dream certainly is a strange illness.
Yeah, it was something all right.
Even I, with my natural love for words, have no desire to visit that place ever again.
You guys did well. You've been making a lot of long trips lately. Are you sure you're not pushing yourself too hard?
I'm okay. I can't just sit around all day while Yona's sick after all.
If you say so.
So, anything I can do for you?
Well, I suppose there is one thing I could use a hand with. Have you heard about our plans to repair the canal? The work probably won't happen for a while, but once it's done, we can use the canal for trade and travel and all kinds of useful things. Unfortunately, however, we're a bit behind schedule at the moment. If you're willing to help out, I'd really appreciate it.
No problem. What do you need?
Great. So, the man I originally asked to help on this project hasn't shown up for work in a few days. I'm starting to get a little worried. So, maybe you can head over to Seafront and check up on him? I'll mark the location of his house on your map. He always carries a red bag over his shoulder, so he should be easy enough to find.
Got it.
Okay.
A canal, is it? Fascinating. If we had a ferry, we could put these days of endlessly running about behind us.
Don't you just float everywhere anyway?
Do you think I am borne aloft by the winds, lad? It takes stamina to maintain this height.
Oh, really?
You could at least try to hide the utter dismay, you know.
The black squalls.
Harm. Venison. Hey, natural rubber. That's where it drops. Oh, do we have to actually go to Seafront first? I guess we didn't. Okay, let's go to Seafront real quick. Okay.
Hey, are you the guy who's supposed to help repair the canal? Popola sent me to...
Oh God, it's over. My life is over.
Surely you must realize nothing good can come of being involved with this particular endeavor.
Easy, Vice. Hey, so, are you alright? What happened?
It's my wife. She left home a week ago and hasn't come back. I'm so worried I can't even focus on my work. Oh, my sweet dumpling, where are you?
Wow, that's terrible. Would you like us to help you look for her?
Really? You do that for me?
Sure. But do you have any idea where we should start?
Well, she always used to enjoy drinking at the tavern with her friends.
Alright, then I guess we'll start with them.
Thank you. This means the world to me. Oh, and by the way, my wife always carries a red bag, just like mine. If you mention that, it might ring some bells.
I've met some odd couples in my day, but none who felt the need to wander about flaunting matching luggage.
You need to get with the times. Coordinated outfits are all the rage. Plus, these bags are special. We bought them for our anniversary. But now my sweet dumpling is gone. And it's all my fault. Oh, God.
Okay. Just stay calm. We'll go look for her, alright? You sit tight.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet that man knows more about his wife absconding than he's letting on.
Hey there, I'm, looking for a woman carrying a red bag.
Are you now? Interesting. Did something happen to her?
She hasn't been home and her husband's worried. Do you know anything about where she might be?
Trouble in paradise, is it? Oh, those two never change. Anyway, the short answer is no. She hasn't been around here either. Though come to think of it, she always got on well with the woman over at the tackle shop. Maybe you should try her?
I'll do that.
Hey, what's the rush? You've got a cute face. Why not sit here and join me for a round? Or three?
Sorry, ma'am, but I'm not old enough to drink.
Stop hitting on the kids.
Hey there, do you know a woman with a red bag by any chance?
A red bag? Oh, sure. Although now that I think about it, I haven't seen her in a while. Last time she came around, she mentioned something about leaving town, but I figured it was just idle talk.
Leaving town, huh? Alright, thanks for your time.
If she has truly left this charming hamlet, finding her may prove most difficult indeed.
I just hope she hasn't been attacked by shades or anything.
Sorry, thinking. Okay, here we go.
Something about that shade seems rather odd.
Uh-oh.
Hey, look at this.
It is identical to the red satchel carried by the man who sent us on this mad quest. Perhaps it belongs to his spouse.
Oh no. Do you think the Shade's got her?
I fear it likely, lad. I sense no other activity in the immediate vicinity. We were too late.
Well, this is terrible. What are we supposed to say?
However difficult it may be, we've no choice but to tell the man the truth.
Okay. Wait, fuck this guy.
Hey, did you find my sweet dumpling?
We didn't, but we got this off a Shade.
Oh no, this is hers.
So our fears were correct.
Oh God, how could this happen to her? This is all my fault.
If I may, my good man, why did your wife leave home in the first place?
It's because
I think we should give him some time to himself, Vice.
Honey, I'm home. Good heavens, you're a wreck. What's wrong?
Dumpling, you're not dead.
What in the world are you talking about? Oh, you found my bag. Thank you so much. I can't believe I went and dropped it like that.
Oh, this is such a relief.
Okay, seriously, what's going on?
5 minutes later.
I see. So, you found a Shade with my bag and assumed I'd been attacked and killed?
I'm just glad you're safe, Dumpling, but I'm also so sorry. This is all my fault. Oh, if I didn't eat that apple you were saving. Oh, God, I'm such an idiot. Listen, I promise I'll never eat anything of yours again. You just promise never to run away from home again, okay?
Run away? Have you lost your mind? I just went to visit my parents.
Huh?
I told you about this. Going to see my family, gone for a week. Remember? Ugh, are you serious right now? Why don't you ever listen to me?
Lad, my brilliant intuition suggests we should beat a hasty retreat from these two with all speed.
Oh no, we're listening.
I can't believe you didn't listen to me, and you ate my apple. Ugh, you are the absolute worst.
What? Oh, like you're some perfect angel. You didn't even care enough about our anniversary to hang on to your bag. You, kid, I'm right about this, yeah? If anyone's wrong here, it's my wife, right?
Wait, you're asking me?
But he didn't just. Oh. Why do I have to choose this?
Well, you shouldn't have eaten your wife's apple.
But I was hungry, and it was just sitting there. Look, I'm glad you went looking for my wife and all, but that was low, friend. Low.
Uh-oh. Did I cross a line there?
Besides, it's pretty rich to come after me for an apple when you threw away my entire stamp collection.
Ha! You're damn right I did, and I'd do it again. You are nothing but a hoarding slob. You there, my husband's in the wrong here, isn't he?
Pardon, but madam,
Honestly, both of them.
Oh, enough. The both of you are at fault. Now apologize to one another and end this ridiculous display.
Big talk for a floating magazine.
I see you finally agree on something.
Do you not even understand how frustrating this is, you colossal oaf? This is exactly what I hate about you.
Fine, hate me. I'll still sleep like a baby knowing I'm not an unreasonable hag like you.
Vice, what do I do?
You turn on your heel and walk away as fast as your legs can carry you, my good lad.
That's it. I have had enough. Instead of belittling me, why don't you get a proper job? Everyone in the neighborhood treats me like dirt, and it's all because of my unemployed slob of a husband.
Actually, I have a job now.
Wait, you what? You're kidding. Why didn't you tell me? That's great.
Well, I sort of wanted it to be a surprise.
Oh, you big silly Billy. Well, this calls for a celebration. Come on, I'm going to bake you a nice apple pie.
These guys are crazy.
I have no idea what just transpired, but it has utterly exhausted me.
Well, looks like they made up, so all's well that ends well?
In the course of all that madness, I have forgotten why we even came here in the first place.
Oh, heck, the canal! We need to ask him about the canal!
I can't thank you enough for all your help.
Sure, but listen, we need to talk to you about the canal.
Oh, right! That's why you came here in the first place, huh? Well, now that my love life is rolling in clover again, I'd be more than happy to get going on the canal work.
Heavens, that was exhausting.
Tell me about it. Anyway, let's go give Popola an update.
Yeah, there's a question. I thought. Okay. I want to miss this one. This one's easy to miss.
Hey, guess what? I went shopping with my girl a little while back.
You mean the one who only goes to super expensive places?
That's her, all right. Anyway, there was this nice accessory that I thought would look great on her and didn't cost much, so I bought it for her. But she refused to take it. She said she doesn't wear cheap accessories.
Well, that's not too surprising.
Yeah, I should have known better than to try and impress her with such shabby flim-flam. Next time, I'll get something high class all the way. It'll cost twice my yearly salary. No, 3 times!
Are you certain this woman even cares for you?
Of course she does.
You humans certainly have complex and exhausting mating rituals.
I was hoping to keep coming back to him to get more of the story in. Alright. I'm a little tired. You know, let's go ahead and we'll take a little break. Before I keep nodding off again, I am going to save the post office. I'm gonna save the game And I'm going to take a little bit of a break before Resident Evil so that I can, you know, wake myself up. And I'll be back around 8. Thanks for watching, guys. See you then.